It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. Something deep within you has shifted, an unspoken prayer, a confident intention, or a heartfelt plea that finally broke through. You may have felt stuck in place for too long, but everything about your energy has been pointing toward new frontiers, and now the signs are undeniable. You're about to move. Whether that means a physical relocation, a spiritual leap, or an emotional breakthrough that changes your reality entirely. If you can feel that surge of possibility stirring in your gut, please like this video, subscribe, and comment 77 foot below to confirm you're ready for this next great adventure. Chapter 1. The moment the universe heard you. It might have happened during a quiet moment of solitude, or maybe right in the middle of a busy day. But there was a turning point when something in you declared, enough. That single word carried more power than you realized. You might have been exhausted from a cycle of the same faces, the same problems, the same routines that made you feel like you were spinning your wheels without getting anywhere. Then from the depths of that frustration, a deep yearning arose, a longing to break free from the patterns that weighed you down. At first, you may have shrugged it off. After all, countless people speak of big dreams or fresh starts without seeing any real changes. But this time was different, and you felt it. There was a sensation, almost electric, rushing through your mind and body. It wasn't mere wishful thinking. It was more like a silent demand that the universe pay attention to your next step. Even if you couldn't articulate it perfectly, your energy said, I'm ready. Show me where to go. From that moment onward, you started noticing subtle changes. Perhaps a friend randomly mentioned an opportunity in a new city. Maybe you found yourself stumbling onto a website with listings that spoke to your soul, or you caught a glimpse of a neighborhood that ignited your imagination. These might seem like small coincidences to someone else, but for you, they were neon signs glowing on the horizon. Your attitude began to shift too. Instead of waking up in dread or going through the day on autopilot, you found yourself looking for hints that something better was on the way. You might have changed your surroundings, rearranging furniture, decluttering old junk, or even letting go of relationships that felt stale or draining. Each action, no matter how small, was a reflection of your growing conviction that a significant move was imminent. Of course, the big question was, how do you go from recognizing this longing to actually finding yourself in a new environment or revitalized inner state? You may have wrestled with doubt, second-guessing whether you should stay put just to avoid the risks and hassles of change. But every time you tried to talk yourself out of it, an even stronger urge would push back, reminding you that your spirit deserves more than a half-lived life. Uncertainty can be intimidating, but there's a magic in that in-between space where logic can't fully map out what happens next. In that magic, you start receiving small confirmations that your call for change didn't vanish into thin air. People start sharing stories that echo your own yearnings. Random opportunities pop up in conversation, or your dreams at night become more vivid, filled with landscapes you've never visited but somehow feel destined to see. All these signals swirl around you, hinting that a door is opening, and you sense on some intuitive level that all you need to do is step through it. Chapter 2. Farewell to the old sense of home. At first, the idea of packing up your life, physically or metaphorically, can feel surreal. There's always an odd mixture of excitement and nostalgia that accompanies leaving what you once called home. Even if you spent years daydreaming about escaping, when the moment comes to actually let go, it tugs at your heart in unexpected ways. You find yourself looking at your familiar spaces with a lingering gaze, remembering both the joys and the heartaches held within those walls. You might feel a pang of regret about unfulfilled possibilities. Perhaps you recall projects you meant to finish, or realize there were moments of connection with neighbors or coworkers that you never fully explored. At the same time, each memory reaffirms why you must move forward. Staying in the same place, literally or figuratively, will only lead you to replay the same scenes. You're already feeling that itch of dissatisfaction and knowing in your bones that if you remain here, you'll stagnate. People around you might react in all sorts of ways to your decision. Some will congratulate you, thrilled that you're finally taking a leap they've heard you talk about for ages. Others may be skeptical or even jealous, fearing that your growth will underscore their own sense of being stuck. You may notice them downplaying your decision, warning you of challenges or potential regrets. It's crucial not to let these reactions shake your core. Deep inside, you know why this move is necessary, and no amount of external doubt can change that. The trickiest part might be explaining to yourself why this is happening now. Perhaps you can't pin it on a single event or a single epiphany, yet everything in you has aligned in such a way that you can't ignore it anymore. It's as if a puzzle piece you never realized was missing has slid into place, and suddenly the bigger picture is too compelling to resist. Whatever path you walked before was leading you inexorably to this point, where your comfort zone no longer feels like comfort at all, but a cage. Then there are the whispers of excitement beneath the apprehension. You catch yourself imagining life in a new setting, the thrill of blank slate possibilities. Maybe you'll meet kindred spirits who speak your spiritual language. Or perhaps your career will undergo a transformation you never dared to anticipate. Even your daily habits could evolve, picking up new routines, exploring a new city's sights, or diving into new hobbies that connect you to a part of yourself you've yet to discover. As you mentally, emotionally pack your bags, you realize this move is more than just a change of address or a fresh pursuit. It's a turning point in your journey as a chosen one, where you honor the signals that say you're ready for the next level of your purpose. And while the farewells to your old sense of home can be bittersweet, you also sense that the chapters still unwritten promise a kind of fulfillment you've only glimpsed in your most inspired moments. Chapter 3. Decoding the signs that led you here. One of the remarkable things about being a chosen one is how your intuition transforms every moment into a potential message. It might start as a gentle nudge when you pass by a particular building, or as a recurring idea that surfaces whenever you're daydreaming. Over time, these nudges intensify, weaving themselves into your daily life until ignoring them feels impossible. And so you follow them, down roads less traveled, into conversations you never expected, or toward opportunities that seemed too bold just a short while ago. Even the most mundane aspects of your routine can become mirrors reflecting deeper truths. Perhaps you noticed unusual license plate numbers that pop up whenever you think of relocating. Or maybe you kept encountering articles or videos about the very place you've been drawn to, like the universe is winking at you through your social media feeds. These coincidences accumulate until they're no longer just coincidences. They're a pattern, an unfolding dialogue between you and something larger than yourself. Of course, the logical part of your mind sometimes tries to tamp this down. It warns you that maybe you're reading too much into random events. And yet, your heart knows better. You feel an almost magnetic pull each time you see or hear anything related to your intended move. It's not an obsession born from anxiety. It's a quiet conviction that resonates with your soul. Something about that location or that future scenario vibrates with your deepest sense of purpose. The response from your body can be just as telling. A surge of energy might flood through you at the prospect of packing your life into boxes. Alternatively, an unexplained sense of calm might settle over you whenever you envision yourself in the new environment, as though your cells are saying, yes, that's exactly where we're meant to be. Your physical reactions can be a more honest indicator than any pros and cons list you jot down, because they tap into truths that logic alone can't always access. Sometimes the signs come in the form of obstacles. You may have faced persistent blocks in your current setting, financial stagnation, relationship strain, creative dead ends, that suddenly lift whenever you think about starting fresh. It's as if the path behind you is gradually closing off, leaving forward movement as the only viable option. What once felt stable now feels confining, and each obstacle you encounter in your old life spurs you to trust that leap of faith just a little bit more. This period of decoding signs can feel both exhilarating and bizarre. You find yourself saying things like, I know this doesn't make sense on paper, but I just know it's right. That's a hallmark of stepping into your unique destiny. The external world might find it odd, but your inner compass is unwavering. The synchronicities pile up. They confirm that your soul was calling you to this shift all along. All it took was your willingness to notice, to let go of second guessing, and to act on the cosmic cues pointing toward a new horizon. Chapter 4. The Inner Landscape of Change. Even as everything outwardly propels you toward a move, it's the inner upheaval that truly signals you're on the brink of transformation. Your emotions might swing from pure exhilaration, daydreaming about new vistas or meeting new people, to sudden pangs of grief as you think about what you're leaving behind. This roller coaster can happen hour by hour, leaving you a bit breathless. But that's how real change works. It stirs up the waters inside you, dislodging old debris and making space for fresh clarity. You might find yourself experiencing unexpected moments of nostalgia. A coffee shop you never particularly liked suddenly floods you with memories, or a certain local path resonates with sentiments you didn't know you harbored. It's not that these places transformed overnight. Rather, your perspective is shifting. You're seeing everything through the lens of impending departure. So your heart becomes finely tuned to the nuances of what you once overlooked. But with the nostalgia also comes courage. You're beginning to realize that your comfort zone was never truly comfortable. It was just familiar. The longing for expansion outweighs any fear of the unknown. And that's a monumental shift in your mindset. Where once you might have dreaded new challenges, you now see them as opportunities to prove what you're truly capable of. The upcoming move feels like a chance to reset, not just your environment, but also your entire approach to living. Old doubts may still try to dig in their claws. Voices in your head, or even from people around you, might say you're being impulsive or unrealistic. Yet each doubt that arises also offers you a choice: retreat to safety or push forward into the unknown. The tug of war can be exhausting, but with each mental battle you win, your conviction grows stronger. It's as if every thread of fear, once unraveled, reveals a sturdier foundation of self-belief beneath it. Meanwhile, you may start to notice heightened intuitive flashes. Moments of near psychic clarity might catch you off guard, like knowing who's about to call or sensing the exact timing of an upcoming event. It's almost as if the process of transitioning to a new place has stirred your innate gifts, sharpening them into more vibrant forms. This development might be a pleasant surprise, reinforcing that your move isn't just physical, it's also a spiritual elevation, unearthing deeper aspects of your own soul. As this inner journey intensifies, you come to understand that the move is less about escaping an old life and more about embodying a new identity that has been inching closer each day. It's about aligning your external reality with the progress you've been making quietly within yourself. And in that alignment, you sense a kind of serenity forming, even if it's still clouded by a bit of nervous thrill. The more you settle into that feeling, the more you realize you're not simply leaving. You're arriving at a version of yourself you've been nurturing all along. Chapter 5. Alliances on the Threshold. As the time for departure draws closer, you notice alliances forming in places you never expected. Some of these bonds come from people who share your excitement, who encourage you with genuine support. They might be neighbors who suddenly show a sweet side you rarely witnessed, or coworkers who express admiration for your bold step. Others arrive in the form of new acquaintances, folks who turn up as if on cue, ready to guide you toward the next stage of your journey. These connections aren't random. It's as if your vibrational shift has signaled the universe to send you companions who resonate with your evolving spirit. They may not be lifelong friends, but in this pivotal moment, they provide a sense of comfort and affirmation. A conversation with a near stranger might yield an insight that clarifies a nagging question you had about where you're going, or a spontaneous meetup could cement a practical lead for housing or job opportunities in your new locale. At the same time, some older relationships deepen unexpectedly. People who once seemed ambivalent suddenly step forward with warmth and empathy. It's as though your impending move has stripped away pretense, inspiring genuine displays of affection and respect. Their kindness validates the impact you've made in your old surroundings, serving as a reminder that leaving doesn't negate all the good you've created. Instead, it underscores how your presence has enriched the tapestry of that community. Of course, not everyone is thrilled. Some might envy your courage, and a handful could criticize your timing or your choices. Outright, it's easy to take these criticisms personally, especially when emotions run high, but you'll find it helps to see their responses as reflections of their own unspoken fears and hopes. Your decision to move can be a mirror that forces them to examine how stuck or content they are in their own lives. This doesn't mean you should carry their discomfort. Merely recognize it as part of the collective reaction to your leap of faith. In the midst of these shifting dynamics, you might also discover you're more discerning about who you confide in. You sense the difference between people who genuinely celebrate your growth and those who can't quite handle the magnitude of your plans. With each conversation, you refine your inner circle, choosing to lean on those who help rather than hinder. It's a process of sorting out energies, of figuring out which ones will uplift you in the days of packing, relocating, and settling in a fresh environment. And so, while forging alliances and parting ways may feel emotionally dense, it's also a testament to how significant this move truly is. You're stepping into a new chapter that demands an upgraded support system, be it human or spiritual, that aligns with the person you're becoming. Watching these alliances take shape at the threshold offers both reassurance and excitement, as though the universe itself is nodding in approval of your next big step. Chapter 6. Stepping Forth with Stride and Grace. Soon enough, the day you've been visualizing arrives. The physical signs are unmistakable. Boxes accumulating, official forms waiting to be signed. Or, if your move is more spiritual, a sense of final resolution about where you stand emotionally. You might catch yourself pausing in the doorway for an extra moment, letting your eyes wander across familiar walls or the skyline you've known for so long. This is the moment you've been preparing for, and it glimmers with both sorrow and joy. There's a certain gravity to loading up your life. Whether you're carrying literal luggage or internal baggage, you think of all the experiences that shaped you here. The small triumphs, the heartbreaks, the laughter echoing in corridors, or the quiet nights contemplating who you wanted to become. Now you hold them in your heart, no longer as anchors, but as treasured memories that give you strength. Each recollection feels like a souvenir, reminding you how you've grown and what you hope to bring forward into your next phase. Taking your final walk through old haunts might feel surreal. You wonder how each room can remain so unchanged while you feel so radically different inside. Yet you recognize that life doesn't stop just because you're leaving. It flows on with or without you. For the first time, you understand the saying that home isn't a place, but a feeling you carry, and you're ready to carry it elsewhere, to fill new walls and new landscapes with that sense of belonging. Letting go of the last bits of hesitation, you realize it's time to claim your future. There is no dramatic fanfare, just an internal voice whispering, "It's now or never." And so you gather your courage. You trust the signs you've received, the allies you found, the drive in your soul that wants something more. Even if your knees quake a little, you set forth with a steadiness that only comes when you know you're on the right path. The outside world might never fully comprehend the magnitude of this step, but you do. You feel it in your heartbeat, steady and resolved, as you approach your vehicle or your metaphorical new portal. You can sense the invisible roads branching out ahead of you, roads to unfamiliar places, roads to new communities that might challenge or uplift you. You acknowledge you can't predict every twist in the path, but you also trust that you no longer need to. Your faith, your intuition, and your willingness to embrace destiny are enough. It's an exhilarating sensation, stepping away from what's known into the arms of possibility. You might be venturing hundreds of miles away or simply into a new way of seeing yourself, but the energy behind your move is the same, a readiness for growth. The world feels bigger now, and you catch your reflection in a window or a mirror, noticing a spark in your eyes you haven't seen before. This is the spark of someone who has finally decided to go where their spirit leads them, and in doing so, has already begun to taste the liberation of a life lived on purpose. Chapter 7, the unwritten chapter. Ahead with one chapter, closing behind you, an unwritten one stretches out like a welcoming horizon. You might not have every detail in place, but there's a comforting awareness that you've set yourself on a course aligned with your deepest intentions. This next phase isn't just about boxes, addresses, or geographical shifts. It's a gateway to the version of yourself you've been quietly nurturing, the aspect of you that's ready to break free of old definitions and limitations. There's an openness in the air as you envision your new life. You may see glimpses of mornings spent sipping coffee in an unfamiliar but inviting spot. Or nights laughing with people who've never heard your old stories, allowing you to reinvent yourself without the baggage of past roles. Already you can sense the personal evolution that's about to take root. The everyday routines you used to perform on autopilot might now spark excitement. Even the unknown challenges feel like meaningful puzzles that will reveal strengths you've barely touched upon. And so, you step forward without the heaviness of regret. Instead, you carry the acceptance that every experience, both the sweet and the bitter, helped prepare you for this. Your higher self, the part of you that sees the big picture, rejoices in your boldness. Whatever prayer, intention, or method you used to call in this change clearly worked, and now your commitment will carry you the rest of the way. As the dust settles, the path extends infinitely ahead, full of people you haven't met and lessons you haven't learned. You may feel a wave of nostalgia for what you're leaving, but also a sense of relief. Because stepping into the unknown isn't just about trusting fate, it's about believing you have the capacity to forge a life that resonates with who you truly are. All those signs, those coincidences, those inner urges have guided you to this threshold, and you answered with a resounding yes. In that yes, you find a quiet power, an understanding that you aren't merely reacting to life anymore. You're creating it. Each day from here is a page waiting to be written, an opportunity to deepen your purpose and enrich the world around you. You've witnessed the potency of your own resolve, and it will only grow stronger with each new step. The future pulses with promise, and in stepping into it, you transform into the kind of person you once admired from afar. And so the story continues, leading you into terrains both familiar and utterly new, carrying the spark of a chosen one who finally moved, ready to see what the world has in store.